Red Blue JD.
Okay, actually, this building here is inspired by two main elements. One is a walling system which has been developed quite some time ago, as you remember from my presentation. So it is the so-called roller bond, which was developed for low-cost walling during Industrial Revolution. And the other element is the typology of this duplex row house, which is also from that same period. This is when lots of people migrated from the villages to the cities in Europe and also in the United States. Similar trends happened, and one had to accommodate lots of people with rather low salaries. So during that time they developed this duplex system because it was most affordable with the level of technology which was available at that time. So we further simplified those typologies in order to standardize the construction details, and that's the result now, what you can see. So as you can see on the elevation, we are now with a house of 50 square meters at the price of about 8 million. So normally the construction system which you can see here with the finish, like you can find it here, costs about $200 per square meter. This includes work, this includes VAT. This includes also a modest profit margin of a construction company and some key infrastructure elements such as septic tank, water tank, and installation. It doesn't include engineering, it doesn't include land, it doesn't include, for example, a profit margin of a real estate developer and so on. So that's really, if I have my piece of land, I take a standard drawing which one can receive from us, and then I have my friend, the construction firm, who the master mason with his firm, who can establish it for a modest or a reasonable amount of or a reasonable profit margin. It is supposed to be a row house, so as you can see, maybe we can shift a bit over here. So this is an element out of that bigger building which we are building in Kimisagara, which is this element here. This is one unit, a small one. You can do, bigger ones, duplex, triplex, small studios. You can even have here a triplex, for example, for the owner of the plot, if he wants to rent this or to give this to his children or his cousin or brother and sister. And so there are various levels of comfort which one can do with it, but it's always a very urban system. We are not, we appreciate very much also the system of our friends from Strotec, which you can see behind you, but this is like a more peri-urban thing. This is something you can build in downtown and offer urban houses to people with all kind of income, low income, medium income, high income. So that's about let's say the basic element. Later on, if you want, here you can find all the prices or the costs, how the breakdown, what is taken into account, and you can even, if you are fit with construction costs and material costs, show you the Excel file which helps you to adjust it to your cost if ever you want to play with that in some studio or something.
Sure.
So we have a calculator which with which you can fine-tune your own design if it applies that type of construction system. Maybe you can ask questions in the meantime, so we...
Yeah,
otherwise
questions you can ask already.
Right now, yes, and we can then continue inside. So
this one, those white bricks are for aesthetics.
The white ones? Yes, you can see them here also. It's just another brick with another clay. In Muhanga. Them inside also for a little decoration. It doesn't cost more, it's just a choice of material. inside. And I assume you have also seen the costs. You know, you have here that box. You've seen it on large scale. Huh?
Yeah, we saw it.
So no need to. Maybe we can go inside.
Yes.
Do like this.
Oh. Did I switch it off? Okay, nice. Thanks. Our principle for the design. No decoration, no beautification of anything in this house. So every gram of material you see here is here because it has a purpose, and we try to arrange it in a way that it is itself the material. Form. So it's a very, let's say, functionalist architecture which we try to demonstrate here. Very purist, also some. That's a bit, but that's why we call it the Swiss cube. That's our reputation which we have in the country I'm coming from. That we hate decorations. So if we, I was working in quite a well-known company, and I was never allowed to say the word I do that because it's beautiful. Immediately an alarm bell rang. No, I'm exaggerating, but it was not allowed to have an argument to tell I'm just beautifying something. So if you have to beautify something, then your basic design is not good enough. So that not everybody agrees with that. There are many new or other architectural principles existing which might be correct as well. Here we had the ambition to show what one can do with this principle, and so far we got very positive feedbacks, but you can see what you get. So there is no plastering because we think that if you have a good brick, you don't need a plastering, and you can reduce costs with it. You see the slab is the cheapest slab you can imagine for the moment in this country. It's made of timber. It's actually used very, very often in Europe, and very old buildings have timber slabs. And then the rest, the use of space, you can see it's just 4 walls in Charlotte bearing. All the rest is flexible. All the rest you can remove if you're tired of this kind of internal subdivision of space, or if you suddenly think I don't want to have anybody seeing my kitchen, you can put here a wall. If you think I want to prolong it and remove that stair, you can remove it. Even you can remove the slab and put a max span slab in later on. So it is incremental in its way. So it's incremental inside. Well, we have been limited with the size of the plot which BSF gave us. So normally we go for 8 meters deep, then we can have 3 bedrooms. Now we have only 2. Because we had to shorten it, and also the living room is a bit small. So this is typically, for tenants, for example, if I would have a plot of land, many actually are coming. Just before you arrived, there were other people coming in, and they said they have a plot, so they want to have a bigger house for themselves, and then they would build a couple of them for tenants. And as you know, 70% of the Rwandan population is below what age? 25 or something like that. So not everybody has already 7 children. So, and not everybody has already the big budget. So if you look at the market of tenants, I think this is even a very good size for a young family. And there are very many young families over here.
So the 8 million is limited for 2 chambers,
2 rooms now, yes. But many people came and say, well, actually, I will put my parents' room on the small, the parents' bed in the small room, and subdivide that. And then you have actually the space for the girls and the boys. But then it's really small, but still you can do that. You can have like 6 beds in the house, probably. But then it's not very generous. It's not middle class. And those areas where they have very little space.
I don't think we need to be 100 people. I don't think to be 100 people up there.
Well, it's fine. You know, we receive so many people during the expo.
Yeah.
But you can see now, many people ask about the sound. Sound insulation is not very good.
When it's a private house, you can never have so many people up there.
You can see this move. Yeah, how many people are upstairs?
All. 20.
It's certainly loaded.
It's seriously loaded now.
It's seriously loaded. It's not the first time.
Let me go out then.
No. Come on. You use different than in Italy, don't you?
No, in Venice you have this kind of, well, we use trunks that are over it to have even up to 1 meter of the runs. Because you know, with the time, the sides that is This is the toilet?
I would normally I invite them to jump, but if they jump over 20 of it, then now you're not very engaged.
Yes, that's good.
So
I sent my employees to the
I see.
I actually like it very much. I was doing it for myself, so small it's more than enough.
We have actually reinforced the big the problem was when they problem was when they, it's a very short construction, so it
nyine uriya avuze kimisagara bahitamo ko abenshi abantu bajya mu mbere
Arrangement nziza kabisa.
gatatu bijya birangira ko ariho hanini ahantu hose nabonye ibigoma hose ibiciro bimwe ibishazi bimwe muri Suisse ariko
ni ibiri bishoboka kuvuga ngo umuntu ushobora kujya miliyoni 8 ariko ufite ubushobozi hari modification zitandukanye architecture
I'm going to quickly explain this lab. Once let's say critical mass is okay, maybe I say a few words on the slab. I mean, you have now seen how many people have been upstairs in total now?
Almost all of us.
20, nearly 20, yeah? How many are you?
21.
So you see, that's very, I mean, for a normal slab, that's really lots of people. In a normal situation, if you're not doing a party or something in your private rooms, you will never be in such a situation. So, but it shows even, we've been down here and we observed that there was no bending even. So, okay, normally a timber slab is allowed to bend. If you look at engineering or the engineering characteristics of timber, it's no problem at all if it would bounce a little bit if you have lots of people or movement on the top. In order to avoid that, we have, because people are not so used to timber here, and we didn't want to create now a situation where suddenly 20 or more people start jumping and then people get scared. Even if there is no need to be scared, but therefore we added here these boards. They are, from the calculation point of view, not necessary. So in the next house, when we have the right timber, with the right dimensions, slightly bigger than what we have here, there would be only one single element, which makes it, of course, again cheaper, quicker to mount and so on. So this is now a special expo security measure which we took, because we expected, you cannot control the crowd, basically. While if it's your own house, you can do that. But so yes, it drives straight into the wall. And underneath here we have a tie beam of 10 centimeters, so it's actually not exclusively on the bricks, it's also on concrete, which distributes them below. And then we have now here used the most simple the most simple slab with a very simple wooden board layer on the top. If you want to get more sound insulation, you can do a double layer with a small insulation, so then you wouldn't hear many people. But here we wanted really to show what's really possible if you go lowest cost and what is the quality of it. And I think we are not here to promote timber slabs. Just for me as an architect, I think it is relatively important to show you also certain reflections which we have behind it. Of course, phonic insulation is not excellent here. But my experience is that you have a lot in this climate here. You have lots of other ways where the sound goes as well. Through the open windows, through the doors which are not closing fully. So at the end, if you decide to go on a very expensive slab for sound, for better phonic insulation, sound insulation, you have also to invest in a very expensive door. You have to invest. You have to make sure that the ventilation allows you to keep the windows closed. Otherwise, all your money you invest in a slab is useless. So this is, I think, for architects an important thing. Particularly phonic sound insulation requires 100% consequent a set of measures. Otherwise, you just waste your money. And well, yes, but this house works very well with max spans. It's a little bit more expensive, maybe close to 9 million instead.
Okay.
If from 8 to 9, so you add another million for a house like that, maybe a little bit less, 850,000 or something like that.
I mean, if you have
max spans, yes, which is still very attractive.
Yes.
If you go for a concrete slab, it is more. Then I think you add certainly another million in addition. And with the concrete slab, one reason why I hesitate to promote concrete slab here, I mean, beside that the material is imported and so on, is the fact that small construction firms do not necessarily know how to make a correct concrete slab.
Yes.
So you need to have an engineer who does your reinforcement design, and you need to have a good supervisor. I have seen too many concrete slabs damaging the house or even collapsing in earthquakes because they have just been done by random masons without having the required knowledge. This is very simple. Here, timber, put it in. It carries the load. If there is a problem, you can see it immediately. If termites attack it, it shouldn't happen, but can. You can see immediately that there is a damage somewhere or that is powder on the floor, and then you can actually replace that piece. In a concrete slab, which is poorly done, you only see it once the earthquake comes. So that's if you talk about low cost, always think about how do these people which are constructing low cost, how can you supervise them? Who can supervise them? It needs to be that simple that the owner can do that, or the grandmother who is staying at the site all the time. So if it is too complex, well, you just run risks that the mason makes an error and nobody knows. So therefore, the complexity of the design is an important element. So low complexity is necessary for low cost and easy supervision. Okay.
What is the loafing material?
Simple iron sheet.
Iron sheet.
Yes. But you can also, if you do the roof a bit steeper, you can do ceramic roof tiles. Our first prototype in Rwanda has ceramic roof tiles on. But I think cost-wise, the iron sheets are best. Ventilation, yes. Ventilation normally, I mean, there are different ways. You can actually have ventilation under the roof. You can, I think next time we will probably do the ceiling straight under the timber, so in a slab also. Then you have to do the ventilation in the room. You can integrate it in the window. That's an architectural decision where you want to put it. But exactly, if you have permanent ventilation openings, then you have to think twice about phonic insulation across the slab, because you cannot even close them. So at home, check once where you hear the sound, the noise. What wakes you up in the morning, and where does the sound go through? So is it across the roof? Is it across the window? Is it across the slab? You will find out.
What about the drainage?
Drainage
On the roof.
on the roof.
Yeah.
Well, we have it's a single slope roof, so it's outside. You can see. If you have it, if you do it this way, you can also do it internally. It's always then a question. Sometimes you have to be able to climb to the roof to remove all the leaves and stuff from it. Maintenance is more complicated if you have a really nice cube like we have here. I think there is no miraculous solution. Even on the way we did it here, we had now, I think, some leakages sometimes. I think there was I don't know, is it fixed now? Yeah. So if you want to be 100% waterproof, then you have to do either single slope or double slope roof with a nice projection and so on. So this has an architectural impact. If you want to be 100% safe, yes, then we have ways, of course, to do, which you know probably these details. can build a piece of wall on top of the roof sheet and so on.
Can I get that book?
Yeah, you can download it. Actually, I think we can leave these two here, but no, we don't have one for everybody, unfortunately.
We have a website on those papers.
Yeah.
But in the website you can find everything.
Yeah, on the website.
I think in the previous talk you mentioned something called minimalistic architecture.
Yes.
Yeah, I want to know how you play with different, like there is a family of few people, even the question of the future expansion of things.
Yes. Well, basically, our ambition was that the minimum, the cost minimum, meaning no decoration, no columns, no Greek columns in the front and so on, is already beautiful from our point of view. And then we wanted to know how the people react. Do they like it? Do they think, oh, that's a shoebox? That's not the house I desire. For us, that was important to find out. But basically, if you want to have Greek columns in front, and if you want to have, all this decoration, you can do that. You can take the simple box and then change it as you like. So we are not the architecture police. So if somebody wants to put sugar on it, they can do that. No, we have no problem. For us, we are promoting a construction system, and we do not comment on architecture, or we try not to, because that's not our role. But we've been surprised. I mean, maybe Nicole, you can also tell a bit what the people said on. I was surprised how much the people liked it actually. So, because many used to tell us, no, Rwandans don't like simple houses. But then we had so many visitors and so many positive feedback, so many likes on social media, and we've been very surprised about that. So obviously there is a little bit of a similar mindset in Switzerland and in Rwanda.
Ntabwo mujya mureba se mwumva amakuru expo y'umwaka ushize ntabwo mwari expo y'umwaka kwa munani muri good mwumvaga mwumvishemo iki se
twariyumvishe nyine ko barabivugaga inzu.
Yeah, yes, they confirmed that they have had that the house that is appreciated by many Rwandans in the expo. That's why they are happy to be here to see themselves also what has been told by different people.
If people come and say, I like it, I always ask first, okay, what do you like? And many people say it's actually the space they like. Space and then the materials because it's durable and so on. So, but the space, I don't know, maybe you read it differently, but for me it was also the fact that it is small, but you have everything in. And it doesn't, you're not, you do not feeling squeezed into a small box. So, and this seems to be a bit of a surprise. I have not seen tens of thousands of houses in Rwanda. I don't know how the full reality is out there, but obviously this was usually a point which people mentioned as attractive. Kids, first kids were born of approximately that size. I think a few square meters more. And we had also only one bathroom, so that's very interesting for me to see how everybody thinks that even social houses should have one bathroom per bedroom and so on.
Yeah,
it's
a misconception.
Interesting conception. Let's see.
Do you have other questions?
No.
No? What do you think of the bricks without plasters? You like it? Yes. Surprised?
But the problem is
Yes, of course.
the toilet.
Yes, what?
So it is a bit exposed to the living room.
No, it's something
And then the smell and so on goes into the room. Then you can actually close here top to it. You have two doors, and then I think this can be, or even you can go up. If you have guests and you are still in the shower, then if you have here, if it's closed here, you can go to your room easily without being visible by the guest, for example. So it's a simple triplex. It's the minimum, more or less the minimum of timber you need. We could probably do it a bit more narrow even. And then you see you can actually even use it for. We did not even maximize the use. We can actually have more of this, shelves which get out of the room, so that you can really, for the children, for example, you can put all the children's clothes and so on, toys in the wall, and or books in the and so on, so inside. So it makes good use of space and also of the material, because then you don't need so much shelves anymore. And this we hesitated at the start. We thought, okay, shall we take straw tack? Shall we take something else? Even in our team, Nicola, you remember, not everybody was convinced of that cheap solution to be presented at the expo. We said it will look cheap. But here I think the fact that we turned it inside out.
Yeah, but the problem, you see, the problem in general is that people think that cheap is bad.
Yeah.
It's not. But I think cheap Chinese, bro.
Yeah. Myself, I'm afraid that storage houses are for cheap people. Because there's the comment, most of people say, now everyone is going to live in a storage house.
Yes. Maybe Nicole, tell a bit about the comments. Also the criticism, huh? So because you spend so much time here at the expo, in both expos actually,
Okay.
and maybe I give it for the microphone.
Yeah.
That's me.
Yes, this house have been here from the last expo in August. We have many visitors and different comments. Right? To many Rwandans that were visiting this house, I think they may be a parent. I don't know if no one's parents was here. But what they say, is it really possible to have an 8 million house? That was one comment. Hearing about 8 million, they want to see what's the 8 million house is made of. 2 rooms, kitchen, saloon. Okay, then it comes to know, then with our Rwandan families and family members, how can it fit? Then others, they say, no, we have to leave that mindset. We have to change. We have to change the mind. If we are saying we have no means to construct a house, then let we go for the affordable. Family members will come after. Okay.
In terms of material or construction system, what is it?
I'm coming to that. Another thing, it was a surprise also to some of the people to see that a brick can look good without plaster. Yeah. Also, they commented about the timber slab. We are not familiar with such slabs. Yes, the timber.
But the timber slab is something which many people wouldn't probably change, or which
they want to change. Most of them. Yeah. You need to have tangible examples to let them know that a timber slab can work within the house. Yeah. That was most of the comment about the view of the house. Also, there are others, as I was saying. Yeah, now anyone can live in a storage house. Storage houses are no longer for rich people only. It is possible to have storage house at each level. Briefly, that was the comments. Then where are they these bricks? Will this brick existing? Are these here now? Where can we get these bricks?
with this story.
So where is the inspection normally? So it's
kandi wavuze ihendutse NF sense
yari yatubwiye ngo ntabwo ari story mbiri muri creation.
Kamera sha.
Red Blue JD.